Hey there, and welcome. Let me ask you something. What if everything you thought you knew about spiritual awareness was, well, missing a huge piece of the puzzle? What if the real key to unlocking other realities isn't just about quieting your mind, but is actually hidden deep inside your own body, in one single, incredibly sacred bone? We're always told that enlightenment is a mental game. It's a journey of silencing your thoughts to ascend to some higher place. But what if that's only half the story? Today, we're diving into a powerful, almost forgotten practice, a practice that has nothing to do with visualizing and everything to do with moving, a very specific kind of movement that can awaken dormant memories and, yes, open up entirely new ways of perceiving the world. And the craziest part? It all centers on one part of your body that ancient cultures absolutely revered. They didn't write about it in textbooks. They knew it through dance, through ritual, through the body's own silent, powerful language. They called it the throne of the soul, and believe it or not, it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Okay, so let's start by digging into this forgotten secret. We're about to challenge the whole idea that spirituality is about escaping the body. Instead, we're going to explore what happens when we decide to inhabit it more deeply and more consciously than ever before.
Think about it for a second. Most of the spiritual paths we see today are all about ascending, right? Rising above the physical to get to a higher state. It's all about stillness and silence. But that perspective, without even meaning to, can make the body feel like an obstacle, like something we have to overcome. But what if it's actually the most direct and powerful tool we have?
And this is the lost piece of wisdom. Ancient cultures got it. They understood that real access to expanded awareness doesn't start by going up and out, but by going down and in, deep into the body. They knew that certain intentional movements could awaken a kind of primal energy, turning the body from just a shell for the soul into a living, breathing portal to other realities.
Which brings us to the star of the show, the centerpiece of this entire practice, the bone that was known as the throne of the soul. Let's really explore its incredible meaning across different cultures and throughout history, because this is fascinating.
We are talking about the sacrum. It's that triangular bone right at the base of your spine, the one that connects to your pelvis. And its name is no accident. It comes from the Latin os sacrum, which literally translates to the holy bone, or the sacred thing. Come on. Its name is an ancient echo of just how important it was once considered. It's the anchor for our entire upper body. It's dense, it's powerful.
And get this wasn't some niche belief. In ancient Egypt, the base of the spine was seen as the literal anchor of our life force. They connected it to the Jed pillar, that famous symbol of stability, of life, and even of resurrection. They believed that consciousness actually returned to the body through this sacred point.
Now, let's jump over to Mesoamerica. Here you find the traditions of Nihalism, which taught that the sacrum was the literal throne of the spirit. They had these specific devotional movements, and this wasn't like a modern workout, this was pure ritual. They believed these movements could reactivate a kind of divine code that was stored within the body, all starting from this one energetic center.
And the pattern continues, even showing up in medieval alchemy. Alchemists saw the sacrum as the body's own crucible, the place where real transformation kicks off. They believed a primordial serpent energy lay dormant, coiled at the base of the spine. And their goal wasn't to fear the serpent, but to awaken it, to release this incredible wellspring of vision, strength, and connection.
So, this raises a huge question, doesn't it? If this body-centered wisdom was so fundamental in all these powerful cultures all over the globe, why did it just disappear? Why did we switch to a kind of spirituality that so often seems to ignore the very ground beneath our feet? Maybe, just maybe, it's because a system that teaches you that the key is already inside your own body is a system that liberates you from needing any outside control.
So, how does this actually work? Let's get into the mechanics of it. How we can unlock this vibrational key, this amazing sacred technology that's built right into our own anatomy. So here, the difference becomes crystal clear. On one hand, you have mind-centered paths, right? They're all about ascending, getting out of the body through silence. But this body-centered path is all about descending into it. It uses intentional movement and vibration not to run away from the body, but to inhabit it so deeply, so profoundly, that the veil between worlds actually starts to get a little thinner.
I want you to think of it like this. Your sacrum is the body's own primordial drum, and when you move it consciously, rhythmically, you're not just stretching your muscles. You are sending a vibrational frequency all the way up your spinal column. You're setting the rhythm for a whole energetic symphony. waking up dormant pathways in your nervous system that you didn't even know were there.
So what does this movement actually look or feel like? Well, it's not about forcing anything or doing rigid exercises. The quality of the movement is everything. Think circular, like you're drawing invisible spirals with your pelvis. Think undulating and serpentine, like a snake rising. It has to be rhythmic and, this is the most important part, it has to be intentional. It's a moving meditation that's guided by what feels right, not by force.
And the results? Honestly, they can be profound. When you sustain this vibration, your perception literally begins to shift. People who practice this consistently report the most incredible experiences. Seeing internal lights behind their closed eyes, hearing subtle sounds that aren't physically in the room, feeling this deep sense of unity with everything around them, and sometimes even having spontaneous visions or accessing what feel like ancient archetypal memories.
Okay, so this all sounds absolutely fascinating, but the big question is, how do you actually bring this into your own life? Let's break down the practice itself. Here are 5 really simple ways you can start. 1, you could create a daily sacred moment, just 7 minutes, that's it, of gentle circular pelvic movement to wake up the area. Or you could try a conscious walk, where you transform a daily activity by just feeling each step reverberate up from your sacral base. Another great way is to put on some rhythmic music like tribal drumming and just let your body respond naturally, without any judgment. You can even use it practically. Take a few moments to do this and center your energy before a big meeting or an important decision. And finally, on those days when your mind is just too busy to sit still, this becomes the most powerful moving meditation you could ask for. Now, to practice this safely and really effectively, the ancient wisdom gives us 3 core principles. First is grounding. You always want to feel stable and present in your body before you start. Second, intention. Get clear on your purpose. This energy really responds to your intent. And third, ritual. Create a sacred space for yourself, no matter how simple, to contain and amplify the energy you're working with.
And all of this, every piece of it, brings us to the final and I think the most transformative realization of this entire journey. See, this was never about finding something outside of yourself.
And this is the big perspective shift. We can spend our whole lives looking for answers, for gurus, for sacred places. But what this practice shows us is that you're not looking for a portal. You are awakening the portal that you have always been. The key, the map, the sacred site, it's always been right inside you.
The ultimate truth that this wisdom points to is just this. Your body isn't some taxi for your soul, a temporary vehicle just to get you through life. It is the soul made manifest. It is the spirit in physical form, and it is your most ancient, your most honest, and your most powerful spiritual tool. So, as we wrap this up, the final thought really is a question. The answers you're looking for, the connection you crave, that portal to deeper realities, it's not in some ancient book or on a faraway mountain. It's in you. It's waiting for the rhythm to start. So the only real question left is, when will you begin the dance?